Hello. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hi,
Welcome to
Jen.
SheNanigans. Well, you guys are shenanigans. I'm welcoming everybody else. So, hi, everybody else. Let me switch over to the comments. I was looking at the comments, not like everybody's here tonight because we're so consistent and we've got a following like no other. But just for funsies, check out the comment section because in there is a new name called Maple Nut Crunch. I'm just saying, I think that's hilarious. I happen to know who that is. I know who that is. And this should be an interesting set of conversation tonight. And then Duck Duck is in the house as well. But I'm Tara Parker. I'm your Shenanigans host. With me tonight is Amber, who is also known as Barbie. And quite honestly, that's all I really want to call her is Barbie. And then Katie is our fan favorite of the Shenanigans panel. So if you guys are not familiar with us, we are an inconsistent podcast, which we really need to work on. That's my fault. But we talk about the things that you're not supposed to talk about openly, honestly, and without filter and without any regard for the ability for this channel to be canceled because that's how we roll. We are also drinkers. What are you drinking over there, little miss? I'm going to show off my wine glass.
Oh, well, this would be the Omen Pinot Noir.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Delicious.
That is a good one. Katie, do you have a bottle nearby to break my heart with?
I'm just drinking the rest of Hey You with it's a white blend you've had with the finger up.
Oh, I love that. The red blend. I've had the white and the red both, and I love the red blend, and it's such a great label. I bought it for the label.
Yeah, me too. And I wasn't gonna dirty a glass, so I'm just gonna,
She's chugging straight from the bottle tonight.
Oh my God. Do you know who's trying to come to the stage right now?
I don't know if anything's working though.
It's working great. We can see you in here. I'm so excited.
I can't.
Holy shit.
All right.
Look, she's not a figment of our imagination on the intro. She's real, and she told me she was coming back. I wasn't gonna drink, but I'm gonna need some wine. Hold on, let me get my wine person to deliver something. Hold on. That's amazing. Welcome, Bronwyn. Hello.
Hello. Hold on. Gotta figure out my lights in here.
You do look a little ghostly, which is kind of ironic given your past in doing the more stuff. So for those of you that are not from, you guys don't see Bronwyn very often. She's been on the show a few times. She's had a busy couple of years between her daughter getting married last November, and then she got married a few weeks ago. This is where we all cheer and say congratulations. This is where we do this at. Now would be the time to be happy for her. Oh, so
Thank you guys. I'm just trying. Just ignore me. I'm trying to figure out all my stuff over here. So
it's been a moment since she has been on the show, so she's going to have some technical difficulties, and that's okay. We will allow it because we are happy to have her. This is amazing. So we have the four of us tonight, and my wine glass is upstairs. Sorry, I just realized I'm sorry. I know sorry for the interruption. I'm trying to get wine now because I'm excited. Bronwyn's here. I didn't think I was going to drink, but I have to now. You make me giddy. This is stupid of me. I just spent a whole week with you in California, and I'm over here getting all excited about you. Okay, so, there's some fun banter going back and forth in the chat. Okay, y'all can figure out what's going on. Y'all be very excited. So tonight we're going to talk about a few things. They're not necessarily women issues, but I have seen a lot of women's viewpoints on them. I'm excited to see what you guys think tonight. We are going to start with something kind of silly because I saw a story about how new parents are using AI to raise their kids. They're going to ChatGPT and Copilot and those other AI tools to ask questions about their newborns and their kids. So given that we didn't have those tools, I'm so interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. I want to talk about Australia banning 16-year-olds and under from social media. And then I want to get into, thank you, dear. Sorry, more interruptions, but in warranted ones. I want to talk about it's going to be a little controversial, and this is okay, but Jingle Bells being a racist song. Have you guys heard about this?
I have, yes.
Jingle Bells is a racist song. I so totally want to unpack that. And then I want to also talk about the shenanigans that happened recently at Target in California. So this should be very interesting. I'm excited to get Katie's view on some of these things. I'm hoping she's feeling energetic tonight because I'm going to need some of that energy. Katie's like, you do not want my opinion. Katie has already warned us off the air that she should not be here tonight, should not be talking. I'm like, yes, I need this.
I'm excited. I am
am
excited.
too. I almost want to start with the Shenanigans at
Katie
Target,
like
but I
this.
need to build up the anticipation. So
let me just say this. I would be worried. Like this is, yeah. I mean,
it's shenanigans. The whole damn point. Whole point. The chat is already lit up. I see some new names in there. I don't know what the hell's going on, but Duck, thank you for the new hairstyle comment. It's driving me mad, but it's fine. But you guys in the chat, be nice. Oh, I'm going to say be nice. No, bring your shenanigans to the chat, but don't be the kind of person where somebody else can't have an opinion. This is a space where everybody gets an opinion. I don't care if you like it or not. And if you are going to attack somebody for their opinion, you will be outed because there is going to be some controversial stuff said tonight. And we're like, name calling is not cool. Going off in your mama type of crap, not cool. Your mama a hoe. If you say it in a funny fashion, I'll probably let it slide. But keep it to the facts. Keep the name calling to a minimum. I've already gotten some comments earlier today about a post I made and some of that shenanigans crap. So, and Katie is
I'm going to get kicked out of the shenanigans group. Is basically what you're telling me.
You're not, but we don't want the chat name calling each other in the chat. We can call broads out there for public consumption. Let's just get into it. So the first thing is the AI assistance in raising kids. All of us have kids that are either grown or almost grown, correct? Yes. I've got my kids are 25, 22, and 15. Amber, how old is?
He'll be 23 in like a week.
True.
And then
your other three.
My stepkids, they're even older than that. So yeah.
Katie, you've got a gaggle of them.
So mine is a blended family. The oldest is my biological son, 26, and then there's 25-year-old twin girls, stepchildren, and then my 24-year-old daughter, and then my 21-year-old son, and then my 12-year-old son. So,
and Bronwyn also has a gaggle and a blended family. Bronwyn,
25-year-old son, 24-year-old daughter, 18-year-old son, 15-year-old daughter, and then my two step kids are 14 and 16, both boys.
And they're adorable boys. I love Dylan. He probably never hears that, but I love Dylan. He's adorable. So what I was seeing the other day is something that I saw on the news, and it was made into a big talking point. New parents are utilizing ChatGPT, Copilot, all these specifically designed AI tools where you go in and you ask things like, my waist size is, 20, is 34, 26, 34. Is this a good body size? And it comes back with, that's a great question. We're so happy you're body positive. And yes, that's, it comes back with this whole diatribe of information. People are actually going to these things to say, my infant will not sleep all night long. It was born 3 weeks ago. Please help. And it has to tell the parent, this is normal. It should not be sleeping all night long at 3 weeks. You should be feeding it. Here's a feeding schedule. Here's a napping schedule. And it gives them a whole bunch of information that you would typically call maybe a family friend, a friend, somebody like that for. Can you, the next generation the generation being born today is being raised by AI. Thoughts, accusations, comments, hateful feedback, anything. Amber?
Here's the thing. Aside from, robots taking over the world and that, potentially being negative.
Potentially being, we've seen Terminator. It is negative.
Well, they might know better than we do. I don't know. No. So here's the thing. Like in my business, I use AI every single day.
You're echoing. Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, good Lord. Wait, did Katie just mute herself? Wait.
I wasn't echoing before.
I know. That's what's going on. What the crap?
Oh man, it's Bronwyn's fault this time.
Bronwyn, you don't listen to her. I need you to return. Okay. God dang, it is. Katie, do you have the headset anywhere?
I was just muted and I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, now it's not echoing. Damn it, now it did.
Okay, mute again.
Mute again.
Damn
Okay.
it.
Did that work?
It worked. Crap. It worked. Keep going. And when she'll just have to
No.
echo her way through it.
It's the Android. I'm gonna blame it on the Android. No, okay. So I use AI every day when I'm at work, right? I mean, it has been so helpful in helping me build my business and give me ideas and answer questions about little things. Yeah, you kind of need to fact check it a little bit because, these are humans that have built AI. But I tell you what, if when Rylan was an infant, if it meant I didn't have to call my mother-in-law just to ask a stupid question, well, when you're a new mom, you don't feel like it's a stupid question. But, little stuff like that. Now, would I just use it to raise my kids and ask it absolutely everything? Well, no. But AI can be so useful when you're just looking for, little facts. If you're, like you said, like just using that example of, my 3-week-old isn't sleeping through the night. There's a lot of really dumb new parents, right? And we were all there once. We were dumb with that first one too. And if there's a way that you can, just hop on your phone and type in a question and answers it for and eases your mind about something like that, then I say go for it, utilize it. That's what it's there for.
Katie, what do you think?
I prefer the term inexperienced versus dumb. And I totally agree.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is that the end of your thoughts?
Well, I know that you're muting me and I'm off mute. Am I echoing now?
You don't echo.
Okay.
No, we
I
do.
don't. You're just muting me to mute me. Is
Just
that it?
just to get rid of the echo. You don't hear the echo?
Am I echoing everywhere?
I don't hear you echo, but I hear when Amber talks, and I can hear my echo. And I'm presuming Bronwyn, but she's on mute.
But
I have no clue. It's so weird.
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. Carry on.
We're all inexperienced, and it doesn't matter whether it's parenthood or a new job or whatever. We're all looking to get answers. If we don't know the answer because we may be inexperienced, but using AI to, I don't know, when you raise your kids, I feel like it's just this, like picking up a book and like you're looking through what to expect when you're expecting, right? And you're looking through if AI is available, then utilize it, but just know that I don't know, there's pros and cons. So
sorry, Katie. You got to find that headset I gave you that would solve that problem, but I don't know if it was the right plugins. Don't look at me like that. I'm not trying to be mean. I know. I'm going to let you loose here in a moment and mute everybody else when I get to the big. Oh, there she goes. She's killing me with that. That was mean.
Show her the label, Katie. Show her the label.
Damn it. And Bronwyn, what do you think about this AI opportunity for new parents?
I don't really use AI that much. Like at my job, I think I just got a new laptop and I have like some type of Copilot or something that I can use, but I feel like it's just going to be more common because like everybody's starting to use AI at work. Like you're just going to get used to it to where it's a part of your everyday life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like, yeah, some people just clueless. Like I know people that, like when I had my daughter, my brother-in-law, that was the first baby he'd ever held, and he was like in his 20s. He'd just never been around kids. So, I mean, some people don't want to read a book about parenting. They'd rather just go and ask the question and get the answer. I mean,
I mean,
when
you're a new parent, you don't even have time to read.
Yeah, keep going. You're good.
Damn it, Tara.
You're
going. Okay, fine.
You don't even be speaking. It's God dang it. She hates me now. I get it. It's fine. Keep going, Bronwyn.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mean, I guess you kind of have to look at it though, like, I don't know if AI, like I said, I don't really use AI. I kind of am hearing more talk about it. That sometimes it just tells you what you want to hear or something like that. I don't know, but I guess just be aware that you're, getting like computer feedback on parenting. Like it may not be the right, I don't know. Just use your common sense.
Yeah, I was in shock and awe when I heard it because I started interacting with babies. They were my siblings when I was 9 years old, and I've just been around babies ever since. So to me, it was second nature. It was an automatic. My maternal instincts kicked in back when I was 9 years old and my little sister was born. I have a little brother, quote unquote, little, but he's just a year younger than me. So he and I both were exposed and both really good with babies. And Bronwyn's device is not connected. She will come back. So this was kind of alarming to me, but I base that off of my experience. I've had a lot of experience with babies and kids, and to me, they're easy. They tell you exactly what they need if you'll just listen. Sometimes you have to decipher and decode them. It's when they become teenagers that it gets to be a lot more effort, in my opinion. And I've asked, so I do use Chat GPT. It's really helpful when I'm going through true crime stuff with Carrie, or I'm trying to research something and I just need quick bullet points for a story I'm writing. And I've even tested it. I've written a story and then I threw all the information into AI to see what kind of story they came back with. Very different. So it's interesting how it works. But it's all it's doing is going out into the web and pulling information it's been told to spit out. So if you're not reading the baby books, it's going to tell you what the baby books say anyway, because it's literally loaded with that information. It does learn from you to a certain degree because it's an algorithm, but that just concerns me a little bit that there's a lot of reliance on AI. How long before we're codependents? Like how long before we have an entire codependent generation because it's focusing on what AI says versus going to a doctor? There was one story because when I started researching this, there's one couple that I found that are both being charged for murder of their 5-month-old infant and then child neglect and abuse of their other 2 children because they went to the internet to understand how to take care of their kids. They put their kids on an alkaline diet, which means completely basic diet, very limited in what they can have. They did this to their 5-month-old who basically starved to death because they used the internet, they used Chat GPT, they used all the reels that are out there and the trendy stuff. And that's just frightening to me. At some point, you got to rely on human experience because despite, and I've been kind of trying to learn this AI stuff and it lacks the human factor.
Yeah. I mean, if you're having questions about, diet, health, things like that, I mean, you've got to rely on your doctor. You can't just Google something or even ask Chat GPT and just expect it to give you exactly what you need and that's the end all be all and that's what you do. You have to have the common sense that goes along with it as well.
Agreed. Quick housekeeping ordeal. There is somebody in the chat, and whoever you are, you have me blocked on YouTube, but I can see you in the device I use to stream this, just so you know. And if you make one more comment that you think is funny, I will have you thrown out the chat and I'll ban you from the show. I don't like what you're putting out there, and I don't like that you have me blocked on YouTube, but I can see you otherwise. So mind your manners or leave. Thank you. Oh God, Maple Nut Crunch. Casey Anthony didn't need AI. We're getting there. Jesus Christ.
That's funny.
No, I'm. Oh my goodness. So that's yeah. I don't know. It's kind of a boring subject, but it's a good starter for the show is the AI stuff. Now I want to move into something where I'm going to unmute Katie and give her the floor first because I think this is interesting.
And
No, don't do it because you're gonna be no.
Yes,
don't do
I
it.
want to go into Jingle
to
Bells.
Jingle Bells.
We're going to talk
We're
Jingle
gonna
Bells.
talk
Jingle Bells.
Okay, so I'm going to mute you for just a second so I can put it out there and I'm going to let you loose. I wish she'd put her video back on. I don't like that. She's all.
Tara!
What?
Okay.
I didn't do
All right.
it.
I know. I did it myself, and then you muted me after I muted myself. All right, go ahead.
God. Okay, so the Jingle Bells thing, this came up a couple weeks ago. Again, I saw this on okay. Ugh, I'm not gonna do this crap. Hold on, I'm banning the idiot
Still
that was
saying stupid shit.
yeah, I bet they're all single and can't get a date type of bullshit. And they have me blocked on YouTube. So it's somebody from another channel that has had shenanigans with us and claims that the name of my show came from them when I've been using the term shenanigans since the past 10 years when a former coworker introduced me to the word and we had a bet. I lost the bet. I didn't think it was a real word. Turns out it is a real word and it is in the dictionary. It was a fun little bet, no big deal. And it's a fun word to say in my opinion. So this person is from that channel, I am certain. So
Yeah, they're being hateful. They apparently hate women too. Little
yeah.
misogynist.
Yeah, it's a very hateful thing towards women. And Duck, if you probably didn't see him either because they probably also had you blocked as well. So they were not in the main chat; they were in the back chat that I can see on the on StreamYard where I stream from. And yes, Duck is a moderator in the group, so if she can see you, she'll ban you because she knows the right and the wrong for this show. That's the first time we've had to do some crap like that. What the hell? Whatever. Oh, okay. So the next one I want to talk about is Jingle Bells. This came up, and I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Joy? Her last name escapes me. She's a oh gosh darn it. What is her name? Joy Reid. Joy Reid. That's her name.
Mhm.
She came out a few weeks ago on her social media. I don't think she has her show anymore. I did not confirm that. But she came out saying she found some other guy's video who was at the spot where Jingle Bells, the lyrics for Jingle Bells were written. And then this whole rhetoric about Jingle Bells being racist came about because the guy who wrote Jingle Bells wrote several comedy type things from back in the day. I say in the day, like 1800s day. I still need to pull my facts a little bit more about this. I was prepared 2 weeks ago for this. I'm not right now. But anyway, this guy was a Confederate empathizer. So, this is during the time of the Civil War. And he went on about how because this guy wrote anti-Black stuff, he used Black people to create these comedies because these people when he would write this stuff, he wrote what was called blackface minstrels. And what that was is that these plays were written, they were acted by white people who were wearing blackface back in the 1800s. Not exactly back then, we have to take into consideration back then it was appropriate. Today it's not. So keep that in consideration. But when he wrote Jingle Bells, it was not to put up on stage. It was something that he just wrote. He just happened to write these other things as well. And so that has been spun into Jingle Bells is racist. Katie, your thoughts on that? Where did Katie go?
She's muted.
She can unmute herself. She chose to mute
To meet
herself,
herself, so I can't.
I have some choice words for you, Tara.
God, that sounded weird.
I'm sorry. I will. She can unmute herself. Yeah, I can't.
If you mute, it won't let me unmute you.
Anyway. All right, hold on. Am I echoing?
You
know.
Us,
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Okay, I tried to change my settings So it would not do that. Now I'm trying to. Anyway, someone else go first. Like I don't even feel like addressing this right now because the anger in me is going to come out. Like,
should we wait to express that anger when we talk about Target?
Oh my God. I mean, are you just okay? I don't even have the words right now. Yeah, like that. This is how I talked to my husband last night. Actually, like, I just don't have the words. I just had to close my mouth and not. You know, your mama said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
But we're on SheNanigans.
No, I know that, but you're going to need to dial it back a bit for me because I am a little like, yeah. Anyway, Bronwyn, do you want to take this real quick and then I can interject? Like,
Bronwyn, what are your thoughts? Oh, she's frozen. Oh no, there she is.
I don't know. I can't keep up with what should be banned and for what reasons. And I just think when things were different 100 years ago, like it's just different time. I don't know that we. I mean, I these things to me, I'm just like, okay, what's next?
Right.
But I haven't really had time to even look at the Jingle Bell stuff. So and I was listening to the song and I was like, I have no clue, but I guess it's more of the history around it. So
the history around the guy's work. And James Lord Pierpont wrote the song back in 1857, so right before the Civil War. But it was a different time, and I don't think at the time it was considered racist. I don't think it was anti-Black at the time. People sang it at Christmas, not at effigies and KKK events. Am I missing something? Katie? Katie? Hey, that didn't echo. Crap, maybe she's muted. I don't know. I'll leave her up and see what happens. Amber, what do you think?
So to me, this is an interesting one because I mean we've heard this song our entire lives. Looking at the words themselves, there's nothing that we would recognize as inherently racist, right? Because we look at it as a Christmas song. So I don't know. I mean, I kind of go two different ways with this because on one hand, as we learn things through time, as we know better, we do better, right? And that's why, I mean, as the years go by, sometimes we change how we feel about things. If we find out that something is really racist, or we find out that something is maybe degrading to somebody, then we change it. Just kind of like Eric and I actually, we had this conversation the other day because we were talking about that football team. They were called the Redskins, and then they changed their name, right? Because I mean, that's really it's not. That was not a good term in reference to the American Indian. And so they changed the name of that because, well, we know better, we do better, right? Let's call our team something that, does not reference something that was a derogatory term against a group of people. And so I absolutely agree that when we learn something that maybe has a racist background, okay, maybe we need to change our mindset about it. However, I also think about, like, over the past few years, people have kind of been up in arms about that song, Baby It's Cold Outside,
Mhm.
right? Because, I mean, I'm sorry, you listen to that song nowadays and
It's
that is rapey as fuck, right? But then we
I don't
also look at,
agree. I don't.
but
No,
then we
because it's
like,
the demeanor in which they sing it that's very much
right,
flirty and
yeah,
no,
yeah. And to
all four of
us,
us have been in a situation where it's like, oh, no, not for me, not today, no, thank you. And you're like,
yeah,
okay, maybe
yeah,
just
and
the tip. Okay,
getting
cool.
pressured, right? Yeah. And
But
so, yeah, the way that
Way
it's
that it's
written,
written
that
that
today,
today.
oh, you
Oh,
gotta
you
mute.
gotta meet.
you didn't know.
I
I
know,
thought
I
you
know,
said
I
something
thought
about
you
it.
were
it.
No,
It's
everything was fine.
No, it was
No, it was
fine.
fine.
And all of a
And all of a
sudden,
sudden,
it
it just
echoed on you.
echoed on
Is
you.
your
Is
little
your little
ghostly dolls out?
yeah. Okay, now we're good again.
Shit.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so those words written, like the way that we read them today, obviously we're just like, oh my God, that's terrible. But when you look about the origins of the song and how it was written back when it was written, um, during that particular time, um, it was actually a very normal conversation, which is why for so many years nobody thought anything of it. Um, and so, I mean, in reality, like, that particular song back in the day, it did not have any negative connotations. We only see it that way today because of how society is today, right? So then you have to kind of look at it from that aspect. Well, so since there's no like particular wording in that song that says anything negative about um you know like slavery or black people or anything like that, we look at that and we're like, what are you talking about, but if you look back at the origins and the guy who wrote it and how they used it with like with the plays and stuff that he did with blackface and stuff like that, like the jingling was actually making fun of the bells that the slaves wore around their neck whenever they were pulling sleighs or horses, or I'm not really sure because anyway. I can see how it's like, okay, yeah, it probably could be offensive to some people if they understood where that came from. But over the years, things do change and the meanings of things changes. Just like the song Baby It's Cold Outside. Now we look at it negatively. Well, the song Jingle Bells, since nobody had any idea where that song came from, where the roots of it was, or, and so like we've just only known it as a cute little Christmas song, and we think of horses and bells and snow and sleighs and that sort of thing. And so of course, none of us today are going to listen to that and think that's racist. And then you hear somebody say, "Well, that's racist." Oh, okay, but we don't see it. But that's because that's not where our history lies. So to me, I'm like, okay, I don't see it as racist just because I never saw it from that perspective. But if there are people that say, well, I do see it from that perspective and its backgrounds are pretty dark, then I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say you're wrong. Um, and I'm not really even going to say I have a difference of opinion. Um, it just wasn't what we were brought up to believe. But I do have to have some empathy for, you know, people who, are maybe black now and had, slavery in their background. And I can understand if they feel like it's racist, I could understand why they might feel like it's a dark song and not just a
Okay.
Christmas song.
Let me
So
throw this at you because I didn't put this in the show notes, so you're not prepared for this one. And just for everybody's enjoyment, I try to give the girls some idea of what I'm going to throw at them. and then I change it up last minute. So let's say, we're going to change the context of Jingle Bells because of its potential origination. There's no documentation. There's nothing out there that says it was based on Black culture at the time, the slave culture at the time. Let's say it is. Okay, great. Let's say Baby It's Cold Outside was about the time in place then, but we've changed that meaning today, so it's cute and
Yeah.
romantic.
Mhm.
So why not say Robert Palmer's song Addicted to Love is offensive to women because it talks about menopause?
Well, I mean,
But it's not,
like I
because
said,
Robert Palmer
things
did not
change
write
over
it.
the years.
But Robert Palmer didn't write it about menopause. He wrote it
Right.
about his internal feelings, his internal self, in the way he felt about a woman. And
Mhm.
women in general, how they make him nervous, they make him sweat, they make him feel these physiological things he can't control. And then he just starts doing everything they say because, oh my God, a pretty woman looked my way and I'm the nerdy guy and there's no way she's into me, but here she is. And now I'm all a nervous wreck. But now women, and it's a
Yeah.
joke, right? I've sent that to you guys.
Mhm.
It's a joke, but there's somebody out there who's taking that seriously
Mhm.
because we're supposed to be empathetic. Is that really being empathetic, or is that afraid to rock the boat and say, okay, that is some shenanigans. That is not what it means today. Drop the past, learn from it, and let's move forward, because we don't consider Jingle Bells to be a racist song. We consider Jingle Bells to be a Christmas song for everybody who
Right.
it's to enjoy it.
Right. And because that's the thing. I mean, the meanings of things do change over the years. And so like I mean, like I said, like I don't consider it a racist song because that's not what I was raised to believe.
Right.
But if somebody out there does find offense to it, then I'm not going to say, I mean, I would just have to respect their opinion, right? I mean, because I'm a white girl over here. Who am I to
Well,
say what's racist and
and I
what's
want to be
not,
careful before we start throwing out what races we are. Every race, every person, every individual, every demographic has its own set of unique struggles. I
Yeah.
cannot stress enough.
Mhm.
No one group other than Native Americans and Jewish people have suffered, and this is just the history that I'm aware of. There's probably a lot more I'm not aware of. Until a group experiences genocide, I'm sorry, we all have our unique experiences. Slavery was a bad
Yeah.
ordeal. I'm not saying anything less than that, but there were white slaves as well. There's a whole bunch of things out there that we are not considering. So it's our country's a little bit different. I get it, but I want to be careful before we start attaching those political labels to anything that maybe we're all white women, but we didn't come from good graces and money and a future laid out for us.
Right.
Every one of us fought to get to
Mhm.
where we're at today. So before we go down that tunnel, I just want to pull us back and go back to the next subject at hand. So but it's like Bronwyn said, you don't consider these things in kind of piggybacking off of you, Amber. We don't consider these things because of how we're raised. We weren't raised with Christmas songs being racist or
Right.
feminist or empowering or whatever. They were just good things to sing at your Christmas concert when you're in 3rd grade.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Chuck, the things I learned in Shenanigans, Addicted to Love is about menopause. That's only because I saw it as a funny reel. Okay, so moving on to, we'll just spend a little bit of time on this one because I want to spend the rest of the time on the Target crap. Did you guys know that Australia banned 16-year-olds and younger from social media? They have
Yeah.
created a ban, and they have to go out and find these individuals and figure out who has underage accounts. They are taking anybody who's 16 or younger off social media. They can't have it.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
I like it.
Do you like it
I
because you
like
don't
it.
have any kids at home anymore?
No, like I think Rylan was probably 14 when he got on Facebook. But I mean, if we could have put that off 2 more years, I wouldn't have been sad about it. I mean, not that it wasn't negative to him, or negative for him at all, because he's never really been like super active on social media. But honestly, I mean, kids are mean, and there's so much bullying nowadays in person, and it's 1,000 times worse on social media. Um, the way that they're influenced, how they can be, catfished by adults.
That is worrisome.
I mean, I, if there's a country that's like, if you're not 16, you can't be on social media, I have nothing negative to say about that. I think that that's amazing, actually. And I think kids probably shouldn't be on social media until they're at least 16.
So I'm going to head over to Bronwyn here for a second. Bronwyn and I have 15-year-old girls who are best friends. And when I say best friends, they're twins. They were born in separate months in two separate women, but they're twins. When they're together, they share a brain. And even then, it's questionable as to the decisions that they make. And so our girls are on social media. And Bronwyn, I don't know if you're on. Are you there? I don't see your photo.
I'm here, but
sweet.
my camera keeps freezing, so I just have my sound.
I don't like your camera. Tell your husband to up the internet package. We need a faster upload and download rate. So at any rate, a couple of years back, I wasn't too afraid of social media. My boys kind of come up with it a little bit. I didn't worry about it. It's gotten a lot different. But my boys were like, "Hey, we got some pictures of some girls and their skivvies, and we deleted the pictures and we deleted them off our our social media accounts." And I was like, "You're an 8th grader." And they're like, "Yeah, this is pretty common what girls do today," which blows my mind. That's a whole other avenue that we'll go down on a different day. And the SUV detective, SVU, special victims. Yeah, the SVU detective in the chat is going to come back for that one. But I remember I took the girls to a human sex trafficking open discussion that I used to have. I used to have open forums in Wichita on a monthly or every month basis for a while, and human trafficking was one of them. And we talked about grooming and how children are groomed online. And JC just about killed my soul. And she's like, "No, people are really nice online. I don't see any problems with it." And we're like, "That would be the whole point." She's like, "What?" It's like, they're nice on purpose to get you to talk about your school and your home and what you're doing and where you do it. She's like, "What?" And she was kind of dumbfounded. She's just like, "Yeah, I have people asking me about my routine all the time. Like, it's not that big a deal. They're kids." And we had to softly describe for her and my daughter, "Yeah, these people are online doing this kind of crap all the time." And when they told us about some of the things that they had seen online, it's like, yeah, those are probably groomers, and they were kind of shocked. And that's some of the stuff that Australia is trying to prevent. What they were really focusing on was teen suicide because of the bullying. That's what it was all about, is to try and save their teens. I don't know what their teen suicide rate is, but it does sound, and somebody in the chat, if you feel Fisk and fine enough, go find out what the Australian suicide rate for teens between, let's go 11 to 18, what that rate is. Because Australia was worried enough about it, they put a ban on 16-year-olds and under. And parents can't circumvent that ban. It is a country done issue. So my only concern is where I get the safety of it. I do. But how far into our homes do we allow the government to step in? If they can tell our kids they can and can't be on social media, how long before they go a little further than that? I used to work for another country, and that country had so much control. They had healthcare control, they had language control because they had 2 official languages in that part of the country, and you had to speak so much of the original language at work to be legal. And they monitored it. You had to give documentation and data back to the country, back to the government. So how far of a reach can the government have before it's too far? And is social media too far, or should parents be stepping in more, catching up with the technological times, and checking their kids' phones to figure out what are you doing and where are you doing it at?
Yeah, but they don't always do that.
I don't.
And I
I'll
mean,
tell
I
you
don't
right
know.
now,
I
I
feel
don't.
like that's
I
kind of a
should.
slippery slope argument, though. I mean, it's I would hope that if a country was really trying to step on toes, that the people would speak up and say, "No, that's not cool."
Australia doesn't have the same setup as we do for laws.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with.
I'm not as
To be
familiar. I know
honest.
it's a lot of English influence because it was an English territory at first for a long time under Queen's rule. And then there's this, that, and the other kind of crap. It became its own entity. But they like they don't have the Second Amendment, so you don't have a whole lot of gun ownership going on in Australia because the government stepped in and said, no, you guys can't have guns. Here's some stipulations. Here's some exceptions. Here's some quid pro quos to the rule, but ultimately you can't have guns, which is ironic because Bondi Beach, Bondi, what is that place called? Bondi. Somebody looked that up. There was a Jewish celebration of Hanukkah that was taking place in public, and they had a couple of open shooters pay a visit. So it's even though they have gun laws, that still happens. So even we have a social media ban. Does it work?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
If people from Australia tuning in will let us know what you think about this and how it's working out, that'd be great.
Yeah, report back to us. Let us know because maybe this is a good thing. We don't know.
Oh my goodness. But I don't know how much I don't know that I want the government telling my child what they can and can't do. I thought that was kind of my job, and I suck at it sometimes. A lot of the time. She's my last one. Braun, when we're tired, right? After 3 or 4 of them, the last one you're just like, just don't die. Just keep yourself fed. Please wear clothes. That'd be great. Like at this point, you're just at the bare minimum because we're tired. And if my daughter's listening, I love you. You're just the easiest one for me to raise at this point because I'm tired and you have a head on your shoulders. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that this ban is out there and there's a lot of people. It's 50, kind of a 50-50 split in the US as to how people feel about it. I'm not for government stepping into my home and telling me or my kids what I can do, but maybe it works. We'll see. Now let's move on to the nuts and bolts of tonight's conversation. The Target shenanigans. If you guys are familiar with this, put a 1 in the chat. A few days ago, a woman was at Target in Chino, California. And during her little shopping excursion, she came across a Target employee wearing a shirt that she didn't like. Bondi Beach, thank you, Duck. Thank you. So the Target shopper I'm going to say her name wrong. I have not heard her say her name, so I don't know the correct pronunciation, but I've heard Michaela and Michella. I'm presuming it's Michaela spelled different to be different. Michaela Ponce or Ponce. I don't know. She's married to a guy that looks Hispanic. I don't know. I'm just guessing here, but I'm going to call her Ponce just to be easy. Ponce is in Target shopping. She comes across Jeannie. Jeannie Beeman is a Target employee, and she's in technically a red shirt. Well, Ponce pulls out her camera and starts video recording Jeannie and starts saying, "What are you wearing? What's going on? Why are you wearing that shirt?" The shirt was a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt, was a red shirt. The decals of the US flag and all of the text was in white, but the shirt was mostly red. She was also seemingly working with shelving, reshelving, stocking, doing something with the retail. She was not working a counter. She was not checking people out. Ponce goes on to say, "Why are you wearing that shirt? Don't you know what that shirt is? And it's not a red shirt. That's not a Target shirt." And Jeannie comes back with, "I'm allowed to wear it. It's okay." Ponce. It's Ponce? Thank you. I had not, if you know that for certain, thank you. I was not for certain, which is weird because that makes it not Hispanic. But Ponce, that feels weird. I'm going to go with Ponce. I know you say Ponce, but it sounds like I'm talking about the Chips guys from that 80s show. So Ponce is sitting there and she is interrogating Jeannie over and over about, "You can't wear that shirt. That shirt is racist." And Jeannie's like, "It's not racist." "Well, Charlie Kirk is racist." He wasn't racist. So we have budding opinions, differing opinions, opposing opinions. Jeannie says, "You know what? I'm not going to argue with you. Have a nice day." Ponce does not let up. I'm going to go to your manager. Get me a manager. This is going over your fucking head. Are you fucking stupid? Very belligerent, very nasty. If it was any one of us, more than likely, most of us out there would have gotten defensive and fast. We would have put somebody in their place quick. Jeannie handled this with such grace and such ease that it should be commended for, and Target has stood by her this entire side. As Jeannie is walking away because she's bid Ponce a lovely day. Thank you, Maple Nut Crunch. I didn't know it was French. That would make it Ponche, I think. But thank you. So clearly this is a politically driven ordeal. Jeannie is looking like she's in retirement age. She's an elderly person. She definitely gets senior citizen discounts all over the country. Ponce is not senior citizen level. She is a medical care provider for a hospital and looks to be about in our age group. She's got a couple of kids or whatever. As Jeannie is walking away, Ponce calls her a piece of shit. Ponce posts all this on social media, and it goes viral, but not in the direction I think Ponce thought it was going to go. And before we know it, she's completely doxxed. Everybody knows where she lives. Her background, which, by the way, she has a criminal past, as does her daughter and her husband. This is important because there's all these pieces of information come out. And then everything goes viral. Ponce's employer gets involved when the internet collectively calls her employer, who is Inlow Healthcare. Inlow, it's a hospital, so it's Inlow Healthcare Systems or something to that effect. They come online and they go to the media and they're like, look, we are not condoning this person. This person does not represent our values as an organization. We're investigating. Thank you. If you guys have inundated us with so many calls and emails. We are being kept for performing our medical services. If you would please use this number and this email to contact us, and we will address your issues as soon as we can, type of thing. That is how much the internet got enraged. They went back to the employer and were like, this is a no-go. So much so that even fellow employees were berated and treated in a hostile fashion, per internet reports. Ponce was fired. Police investigated Ponce. They knew about her criminal history because part of her criminal past is domestic violence. She has a couple of domestic violence charges against her. There's also reports that came out that her daughter was in court yesterday or today, supposedly for domestic violence as well. I have not gone and gotten I can't get her daughter's record because she's a minor, but I can probably snoop around on social media using my true crime sleuthing skills and probably find the information if I wanted to. But so we have a pattern of behavior from Ponce. Turns out Jeannie's background is that her husband died 12 years ago after suffering and struggling with dementia and several medical issues, as it turns out. Now, everything's going to work out. Jeannie has a fundraiser that has raised well over $200,000. She's probably going to retire soon, I hope, unless she enjoys working at Target, then that's great. I'm sure Target has changed their policies on the kind of red shirt you can wear. But is this okay? Can you fire somebody for doing something off duty?
I think my opinion on this, and this is what I'm seeing a lot on the internet, is she's a nurse. She's giving people medicine. She's giving healthcare. If that was your family member and they have the same political view, would you want her to be their nurse? Would she do her job?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she wouldn't if she thinks it's okay to harass somebody and post it online and go to that extreme. I can see the concern with it because of her profession.
I'm so glad you brought up her specific profession because, she was in the medical field. As it turns out, per her employer, she was not a nurse, thank God, for the very reasons you stated. Because that would irk me to know that somebody like that was in my room or my son's room earlier this year after he endured his stroke. She is actually a medical assistant. So she's the first person you see in the room, the person that says, Amber, calling for Amber, Amber, and Amber gets up and goes with this person. This person takes her weight, gets her vitals, takes all the information. This is that person. She's the first person in the medical services that you see that introduces you into your doctor's appointment, which takes you to the level of bedside 101 should be chef's kiss type of stuff. Because as a patient, you're not a patient every single day. And I remind healthcare providers of this every time I go in, because there's always some idiot that's like, okay, so do this, do that. And I'm like, who are you? And what's your name? And are you buying me a drink before you start poking me? I know you're just going to take my blood, but I prefer a drink before you do it. Like, let's get friendly before you get personal with me. So she was, and I agree with you, Bronwyn, because of her background, there's some different expectations than what she provided, I think. Amber?
So I agree absolutely with Bronwyn here when it comes to well, your original question of just can somebody get fired for that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Even if she wasn't in the medical field, no matter where she worked. I mean, the way that that went down, for somebody to, I mean, and here's the thing. I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan. I never was. But here's the thing. I don't care how you feel about him. For her to go up to a random stranger and harass them in that manner and then post it all over the internet and say those nasty things to this woman who's just trying to do her job. If she was working for me in my salon, I'd fire her. I mean, and it's just because I wouldn't want that kind of a person to be a part of my team. Um, and so, your question is, okay, can somebody legally get fired for that? I think it is definitely up to the employer's discretion because, I mean, if you have somebody that is going to treat people in that manner, especially, I mean, since she is in the medical field, she works with the general public. In almost any job, unless you're just sitting behind a computer all day, you're going to be working with the general public in some manner. And having somebody like that on your team could be a huge liability, because if they're going to snap at a random Target employee because they don't agree with something that they're wearing and plaster it all over the internet, how would you ever know that that employee isn't going to talk to a potential customer or one of your really good customers in that same manner because they see something that they don't agree with? That's not okay in the workplace. And if you realize this is the kind of person that I have employed, I don't want this kind of a person on my team. It is absolutely up to them to make that decision to say, I'm sorry, you're not going to work here anymore.
And I agree with all of that. So when I first got my hands on this video yesterday, I mean, this has transpired. It looks like 48 to 72 hours. This has all happened from her posting the video to her being fired. And it has been confirmed she's been fired. The video didn't show its entirety. So when somebody said that she called Jeannie a piece of shit, I'm like, no, she didn't. I saw the video. And then I was like, wait a second. Let me go look further to see if there's more video.
Just saw a snippet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I found somebody did a whole screen sharing thingamajigger on social media. So you could see from beginning to end from Ponche's profile. Now, here's the thing. Ponche has friends on her social media account. She has followers. She also has a reputation. If you go back to the little chatter groups on social media from her area specifically, which she lives in Orland, California. She was in Chino, California when she did these shenanigans. There's Facebook chatter pages in those communities. She's got a reputation for doing this kind of crap. She's well known for this. So when this video first came out, they were sharing it in these chatter groups that are like, she's at it again. She's at it again. She's known for this. This is her demeanor. That's sad. That's how the internet knows you. And for some reason, you are sick enough in the head to think you can berate anybody. Some poor old woman, some mom with a young child, some 40-something-year-old whose son had a stroke earlier in the year. You don't know somebody's story, but you think you can come down on them because of something they're wearing? And you think the internet's going to back you on that? There's got to be some type of mental delusion in the head. There is something wrong with an individual who thinks they can do that, and people are going to give them a pat on the back and a bunch of likes on social media.
Mhm.
That's what blows my mind about this entire thing. She thought it was okay to post that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean,
Although
that's
I do wonder though, like about Target, because I know they have to wear red shirts. I mean, that's their uniform. It does surprise me though that Target doesn't have like some sort of a stipulation in place that it has to be a plain red shirt. Um, just because, I mean, with Target being a corporation, if it's their employees wearing something that could be considered controversial, not necessarily that this woman's shirt was, but I mean, if somebody, showed up with a red shirt that had like, something written on it that maybe somebody found offensive or something like it just makes me wonder kind of like what are their parameters for red shirts you can
so
wear at work?
somebody brought this on. I'm glad you brought that up. Earlier today, I wanted to kind of create a social experiment. I'm going to do this more than once because it feeds into our shenanigans really, really well. I went onto Facebook on my personal account. I'd already posted something on the shenanigans account, something that was very clearly about this specific situation. I think I had, I may have added a link for people to follow. But when I went onto my personal account, I made a very high level, vague description. Somebody does something off work hours, it impacts work. What do you do type of thing? From business owners to individual contributors, I had a varied sense of responses, basically coming into this is a case by case type of situation. We need more specifics. And I was like, nope, you're not getting specifics. Give me examples and what you would do. That's what I want this conversation to do. And people were like, well, you kind of are a representative of your company, whether you realize it or not, be it a teacher, a cop. I'm into organizational leadership. I'm looking at a very interesting role right now. I keep what I do right now online within that subset. So I'm not disregarded for that job. I always keep in mind who I'm working for when I go to social media. Always. I've been doing that for years and years now because social media became such a thing. But somebody brought up the Target attire. And I have the same questions. Why was somebody wearing a shirt that wasn't all red? Because in my town and in my metro area, all the Targets, all the employees wear all red shirts. However, when I was in Lincoln, Nebraska with my son, when he was in the rehab hospital and I went to Target there, their Target didn't sell the same things as my Target. I went to that Target to get my crap. They didn't sell my crap. They sold other crap. And I'm like, no, thankfully they also sold wine, which my Target does not sell wine. So I have a complaint to file with Target. That's a later discussion. So when somebody commented, I used to work for Target, but she worked for a local one. You have to wear a red shirt. I'm like, yeah, but not every Target sells the same merchandise in the same area. In fact, Lincoln, Nebraska, Targets sell different merchandise. Colorado, Targets sell different merchandise. That leads me to believe, even in a state like California, which has a strong reputation for being super liberal, I'm willing to bet they're willing to tolerate certain types of red shirts depending on where you are working at in the store and at what time. Because that was something I didn't know. What time was she at that
Maybe.
store?
Yeah, it could have been 2 a.m. when
Exactly. When there's not
mostly just stalkers or something.
Yep. So we don't have enough information about that, in my opinion. I'm sure. And somebody made this comment. I think it was Maple Nut Crunchy made the comment on the Facebook post. Target's probably that Target and the Targets in the area have probably made some changes for that reason to better protect their people. They probably didn't think they probably thought they had such an accepting type of community. They didn't have to worry about that, especially at whatever time this happened. Because there was nobody else stepped in. Nobody else said anything. And that was some criticisms. Bronwyn, I know you're on mute, but you can jump in anytime. I know you're the quiet type, but you can jump in at any time. Um, so I'm sure there's changes being made. But at the same time, how in the hell is a t-shirt going to trigger you? If you can manage yourself to do work.
I mean, everybody wears all kinds of different t-shirts.
I see.
Like,
I
does
don't
she
wear any
literally
kind of
walk up
t-shirt.
to everybody wearing a t-shirt that she doesn't agree with and do the same thing? Like,
well, I mean, she's got a reputation for doing this kind of. I don't wear any kind of branded anything. You've seen me. You and the
yeah.
girls all bitch about my
Mhm.
wardrobe. It's the same thing over and over and over again. But I'm 6'1" and 155 pounds at this point. I will wear what my body can uphold. I mean, I can't wear floral stuff because I look like a giant orchid walking in. It's just not my thing. So I don't do that kind of thing, but other people do, and that's the thing is I don't like words written across my boobs because I don't have enough boobs to hold them up anyway. Unlike you, Barbie, where they're like protruding into the next county, or Carrie actually protrudes into the next county. You're just protruding into the
Yes.
next city. And if you're not familiar, Carrie's out there with her chest, but neither here nor there. But maple nut crunch. Well, what else did you say? If you can put it on the chat, go ahead. But that was the most important thing that I remember you saying, because I thought that was a brilliant comment that you said. So I don't know. I just I can't imagine the mentality of somebody who feels that entitled that they can walk up to a complete stranger whose backstory they don't know. I am not 6'2". I am 6'1". I'll fight you on this later. I'm going to call you after the show, Crunch, and we're going to crunch some numbers. Ugh. But the entitlement that comes along with approaching a complete stranger with your political view and forcing it down their throat. That's the same arena as you will like me because I'm gay. You will like me because I'm trans. Not because I'm a person and I'm a good person, but because I have this thing that makes me political. That's the irritating part of this whole thing. And Jeannie did a fabulous job of holding herself up. If you haven't seen Jeannie in this video, go look this video
she
up.
held herself so well in that video.
Was she not a queen?
I tell you what, if it was me, I'd have fought that girl.
Oh, I wish it was Katie, because that would be internet gold. And I wish Katie was here right now. I would have been, I would have probably veered towards more, as I would have tried as best I could to assume Jeannie's response. I really would have. I think Bronwyn, I think you would have too. You probably would have just shrugged it off and moved about your day, I would think, wouldn't you? Oh, her technology sucks. I have to work with her on that.
Sorry, repeat that.
So if a woman approached you the way that Ponche had approached Jeannie, would you just be like, shrug it off, be like, whatever, I'm over this. This is not my thing today. Or would you be like, bitch, we can go outside and handle this if you want to? Like, where would you fall in your
I wouldn't
arena?
be nice. I would be just like, you know what? I'm so sick of people just thinking they can control what everybody else does. Just, you have your opinion, that's what it is. Like, it doesn't give you the right to mistreat other people. My sister lives in California, and she said, you know, she's very cautious out there about, she's like, I would love to have one of the Charlie Kirk shirts, but she's like, I would never wear it because I'd be scared of getting harassed out here. Or I think she has a neighbor who she's like has, you know, MAGA flags, and she's like, he's crazy because of who our neighbors are.
Oh,
So
no.
I mean, that's just something that she's kind of used to now because that's where she lives. But like, I just think I may not agree with somebody, but I'm not gonna ever get in their face or say anything because I disagree with their views. Like, I have my opinions, they have their opinions. We don't need to argue about it, and it doesn't give anybody the right to mistreat anyone else. I would not be nice to that. I would have not been nice to that lady. I would have got probably fired from my job for fighting her. So
I have a whole new perspective of I could see, because for me, I could have seen Brown being like, whatever, and just walking away, but Nick being like, hold up here, wait a second, I have questions. And Nick just being that dude just to push buttons, because Nick's great about doing that, being like, I don't know why you're so upset. Please tell me more, just to make her more of an ass of herself. Like, Nick would identify that. It cracks me up.
he
That
would
Brown
have
be like,
instigated.
he would have, and I love it.
Now I want to see Bronwyn get feisty.
I do too, because I'm like, I thought Katie was feisty, but Bronwyn's hiding something. I'm like, oh, I need to know. I need to see. Now I'm going to cause some shenanigans when we're out next time, just to see what happens. Nick's going to hate me, but he'll learn to love me again. So I clean up aisle 2.
Well, and especially if I'm at my job, like I'm just doing my job. Like leave me alone. I'm at my place of employment. I'm not going to go harass you at your work. Like,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
How disrespectful. And I'll say this again. I said it earlier in my Facebook discussion because somebody mentioned there's a respect factor. And I get really sick and tired. Though I most times, actually 99% of the time, I keep my mouth shut unless I'm at the talk I do every year in October at a cybersecurity conference. Respect is not earned. I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what you think you know about respect. Respect is not earned, ever. Now, if you're in the military, it's something you have to show based on your rank. So you'll do it because you have to, or you face consequences. But in the real world, respect is something that you do in the moment based on how you feel about that person. No matter how you slice it. If you think you respect somebody, you figure out how fast you respect them when they come at you about some political views. If you think you respect that person, you figure out how much they respect you when they respect your political views, or how you raise your children, or how you manage your lifestyle. Respect is a decision made in the moment based on how you feel. It is so connected to emotional intelligence. I can't even begin to describe it to you. And the only reason I say that is because of the amount of work I've done in emotional intelligence. Have I shown complete emotional intelligence on this show? No, this is my stress reliever. So don't come at me yet. Come at me later on. But the lack of respect that was shown for this individual was not there. There was no respect shown for this individual whatsoever by Ponche. It was absolute disgusting behavior of a woman who's supposed to be fighting for equality and supposed to be lifting other women up if you want to take a feministic view to it. So there's all kinds of ways to put this broad down, but I'm glad she got fired because to me, that would have been one of those things that if I had seen that happening between two people, I would have stepped in real quick and be like, nope, I don't care if you like Charlie Kirk or not. And I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk says, but I love the way he argued. He was great at debating. He was a phenomenal debater. Loved his debating skills. Didn't like all
You'd
of his
say
values.
he was a master debater.
I knew you were going to do that.
Sorry.
And I walked right into it.
Love you. Keep talking.
Yeah, not the point, is it? No, but that was my thing about Charlie Kirk is I love the way he did full circle thinking. I love full circle thinking, especially if you know your why. I don't care what your why is as long as you know it. One thing my kids were never allowed to say growing up, why did you do that? I don't know. Nope, that's why you're grounded. You're not grounded because you did the crap that you did. You're grounded because you didn't know why you did it. I'm more pissed that you don't know why you did it. Because now I can't understand you. You're preventing me from helping you be a better person. So figure out why you did stupid shit and get back to me. Maybe you'll be ungrounded. And they were just like, what? For a couple of they were like 8 and 10 when this happened. They're just like, what? And then they didn't get grounded very often because they knew why they did stuff. They could explain themselves to me and we could have a conversation. But this broad, she's supposed to be a quote unquote activist. I don't want her activating anything for me.
Not in that manner. Mm-mm.
And given her pattern of behavior that's been reported online, not in any manner, she needs some help.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is not a one-off. She needs some help. But Crunch is like, respect is earned, courtesy deserved. I like the courtesy deserved, but so is respect. Respect isn't earned because some people, you can respect somebody and believe they do great things, and then you realize they're a serial killer, and you're like, oh dear Lord, you were a nice church-going individual, and it turns out you have 10 dead bodies in your backyard. I am not okay with this. Or you could be in the midst of a fight, to be very transparent with the audience, because he's already put it out there. Crunch is my brother. He's my brother. He's 1 year younger than me. I do respect him. I have a lot of respect. I have respect for the way he thinks and feels. Do I agree with all of it? No, and he knows that. He calls me a liberal all the time just to piss me off. It doesn't piss me off. I have to re-explain myself to him. But I do respect him, but I respect most people for their opinions because they know their why. It's when they're just like, well, because, and I'm like, you sound like the teenager that needs to be grounded when you're like, just because. I need a little crickets type of little sound when nobody has anything to say. You guys are supposed to chime in.
Just
We need
nod
to-
along over here.
We need to fire Bronwyn up and get her fighting somebody in the chat.
Well, I think with this lady, it's just like it's not just her. I mean, it's just the mindset people have that other people can't have a different opinion, and that's kind of what leads to like the Charlie Kirk assassination. I mean, obviously the person who did it was not right in the head, but in their mind, you know, they disagreed with somebody and that was the right thing to do.
Yep. That's incredible entitlement to, you know, Charlie Kirk's assassination really woke me up when it comes to, and I can't think of his name unfortunately, but the insurance CEO that was murdered by Luigi Mangione, which is sad. I can come up with the murderer's name before I can come up with the victim's name. But at that point in time, I'm like, yeah, insurance sucks, whatever, don't care. And then Charlie Kirk dies. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll backpedal myself a little bit here. Maybe I wasn't celebrating, but I wasn't really concerned with it. And quite honestly, Charlie Kirk's death didn't impact me a whole hell of a lot. It was just, that was online. His murder was literally online. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. I didn't want to see it, so
Bronwyn, I thought it was AI at first. I told Jim when he sent it to me, this is bullshit. This is not real. And then he had to tell me, no, this is true. And it was just, I had to go back and watch it in slow-mo to make sure it was an actual real live thing. It's like, somebody's trying to send a message. That ain't nice. But again, I didn't agree with everything he said. I don't think
Doesn't mean he deserved to just die.
No. Has Katie calmed down? Katie stays about 40 minutes, then she does her Irish exit duck. So no, she's not calmed down. We were hoping to unleash her, but I need to figure out her echo issue. So no, Kirk didn't need to die. I disagree with Reiner's death, but Reiner's death wasn't openly political. That was a very personal.
That was his son who has a lot of mental issues.
Yeah, and then we'll have to do that one on a different. I'm gonna do some more research on that. I have some suspicions on that one, because because of Rob Reiner's political position, I have some suspicions on that one. But that wasn't it wasn't the same type of exit as Charlie Kirk's. Charlie Kirk was publicly executed. Rob Reiner was privately executed. Those are two very different scenarios. Versus Luigi Mangione's was also very public, but nobody was around to see except for the cameras. So it's let's see. Criminals. I'm gonna kind of pull up the comments. Criminals, yes, that's a cop talking, or former cop, still cop, always a cop talking for you. And I love it, so don't stop doing it, Michael. I can't get Kirk's death out of my mind. Luigi Mangione, Duck, I know what part of the country you're from. That's in your neck of the woods, hon. Look him up. He assassinated, supposedly, allegedly, I should say that, so that somebody doesn't get all sideways about me, because he's got a following and a big fan group. Luigi Mangione has allegedly murdered, executed gunpoint type of thing, insurance CEO. And I want to say it was, do you guys?
I can't remember which company.
Was it UMR? United Healthcare. It was United Healthcare.
Mm.
Yeah, and NYC doesn't. Yeah, we won't even go. You just got Crunch. You're gonna put him on his soapbox saying shit like that. With New York and death penalty and everything else. So I don't know. So those are the shenanigans I wanted to bring forth tonight. Not our typical stuff, but something a little bit more out there in the public. So I think we need to mix it up a little bit. But for our next episode, I do want to talk about menopause. I have some.
I got a lot to say about that.
God, don't us all. Bronwyn, have you entered into perimenopause or menopause or any kind of pause at all?
Nope.
Oh, fuck you. That's not right.
Yeah, get out. We don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I will not be much help in that discussion.
Well, we're gonna prepare you, honey, because of us all, and we need the whole group being here would be great because myself, Amber, and Kathy have all had partial. No, Kathy's had a full hysterectomy. I think Amber and I had partial hysterectomy, so we still have ovaries and fallopian tubes. Do they give us our tubes or no? I don't know why we'd need the tubes.
Yeah, my tubes were taken. I just have ovaries floating around in there,
I
but
do
they're
think I just have-
useless, so they should have just taken them too. So
I think I know I have my ovaries. My perimenopause/menopause says so. Sorry, Crunch, you get to hear more TMI than you care for, but according to you, we don't get TMI, so suck it. So I want to talk about menopause, perimenopause, and some of the stuff I am learning. How it affects the whole 9 yards. What else should we talk about that would kind of be a good segue? Like, do you want me to go back out into the news outlets and find crap to talk about, or do you guys have ideas? We can talk about Christmas and the way I don't like it.
I mean, I feel like we could absolutely. So I love the fact that like our age group, the Gen Xers that are going through all of this shit right now. I love the fact that we are so open and we talk about it so much because the previous generations before us did not talk about it at all, which is why we were so blindsided with everything. And now, with us talking about it so much about what happens, what to expect, how we feel, how we're fixing it, the next generations, the millennials and, the Gen Zs and anything beyond that, hopefully, will not have to deal with being blindsided like we were. So, I mean, I'll talk about menopause all day, any day.
Yeah, I'll join you in that one because you and I are on similar. It turns out I've had hormone issues all my life. Didn't know it until I look
Same.
back. I'm like, oh yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
problem. And then I
Yeah.
have Ehlers-Danlos on top of that, which complicates the female aspect of life, the vascular specifically. Only one person in the chat's going to get that, though I've mentioned it a couple of times. And then Bronwyn's just going to sit by and be prepared as we bitch about our hot flashes, our infrared hot flashes, our relieving cold spells, why alcohol is our best friend one day and our mortal enemy the next day, why food is very comforting one day, and then like, why did we do that to ourselves? We didn't need to eat ever again.
Yeah.
Why our mentality is all over the place and why our husbands think we're crazy, but when we're actually just trying to navigate into old ladyhood, into our golden years.
Yeah.
This is why.
And how it almost destroys your marriage.
Yeah, Golden Girls is going to be a thing. I've got the house for it. I just need the girls for it. And unfortunately, my not husband's in the next room. He could probably hear me if he's not listening. And maybe hold on, because he just loves fucking abuse. How about the second half of the podcast? Talk about what men go through. No one wants or cares enough to give it a name. How about that? It's called a name. It's ED. No, is that not a name for what you guys go through after you don't need to make kids anymore? I'm asking for a friend. Sorry, you pulled it out there. Yes, Squirrel. So Maple Nut Crunch calls his daughter Squirrel. That's been her nickname since she was little bitty. And she's currently expecting her first child, and she's an Ehlers-Danlos individual, and there's a lot of issues associated with that. Yep. Absolutely. One day I'll probably do some sort of podcast on Ehlers-Danlos and other issues that people don't know about, but nope, you're not writing shit. You can co-write, but you're not in charge of anything. I know how you write. I get comments about you, but you can co-write. How about that, Michael? Oh, hold on. This is nerve-wracking as hell. Duck says I went through it. I'm presuming it is menopause. Over 10 years? God, let me take that in. 10 years of menopause? Never had night sweats?
Well, yeah, perimenopause starts 10 years before menopause starts. So we are going through it for a long time.
No. I have theories
Yeah.
to get around this. But now because
No.
diagnosed, they put me on pill. Nope, I This is why women kill. That's what I've determined. This
Yeah.
is why women kill.
Yeah, like there was some shit that was happening back in the, mid 2000s with me that I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Turns out it was all hormonal. It was all perimenopause shit. But nobody tells us this stuff.
Well, we'll just have
We don't know what to expect. So
we'll unpack all of that. We'll do that.
yeah.
We'll do that. Well, so I think what is next week? Next week's we're a week from
We're
Christmas.
getting into Christmas.
We're a week from Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we're not going to talk menopause on Christmas Day. That's just a Christmas downer. But what we may do is I may get the girls together. We may record a show for Christmas Day. So it'll be released on Christmas Day and just talking about Christmas traditions and some of our pros and cons to that or whatnot. And then and then that means New Year's is after that. So maybe we'll just do a New Year's party online or something. I don't know.
I'm down. Hey, Christmas party on Saturday. We need to maybe make a couple of reels, do some recordings. That could be fun to throw in there too.
That could be fun. I like it. I'm not gonna wear an ugly sweater. I've been told I have to show up naked. I'll explain that later. But
Okay.
you were in that group chat, So
I must have missed that part, but okay.
God, it's not worth
Picture
it.
it didn't happen.
I said no flash photography for that reason. So all right, ladies and gentlemen, and whoever else showed up and then I blocked. That is SheNanigans this evening. Thank you for joining us. Bronwyn is checking out.
I'm here.
I just saw her.
I was just waiting, but I think my camera's still. And you know what? I have the same internet I had at my old place. I don't know why it's not working.
That's
but
so
it might be my
weird.
laptop.
It just may be one of those things, but
Maybe
I am
another day it'll work
so
better.
glad you were here tonight, Bronwyn. It was so good to have you here. We just have to get you coming back more and more now that weddings are out of the picture for a while. Should be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for the open discussion. We'll keep doing this. And if you guys have things you want discussed openly, even if they're not women's issues, we can talk about them from a women's perspective. But thank you guys. You guys have a good night, and we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Oh, I hit the wrong button.